Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is July the 13th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Actually, I'm going to switch up the order a little bit for this episode, at least in terms of the personal news. Let's start from yesterday. So, after recording, kind of hung out for a couple, hours, just, did a little gaming, did a little hanging out. That was nice. Then went down to Northside. It was good to be back. It was good to be back in the city, seeing my friends, hanging out. We got to kick it a little bit, played some Tekken a little bit. That was fun, a little just kind of like just chill kind of vibe. But then we went to get food as well, and we actually hit up a couple of food spots. So essentially, I had like two dinners to start my night, more or less, or getting into the night. The first dinner was kind of like you could say a late lunch kind of vibe, if you will. Went to Morsel and Nosh. I've talked about that eatery before. Very yummy deli. They also have like a convenient like store, like situation set up too, like storefront. So that's nice. But the sandwich I got, was phenomenal. It was one of the signature sandwiches that I tweaked. It was called the John Adams. It's essentially just a BLT, which was exactly what I was looking for as is. But I wanted to get a little freaky with it. I wanted to get a little extra. So I added some Swiss cheese, which was a good recommendation from the store employee, and that was a good call because that tasted very yummy. And then I got a little extra and added some onions to it, which is not a new thing for me. I actually like a BLT with onion on it, and I don't usually think about the cheese. Like usually it's like I kind of was like, oh yeah, there usually isn't cheese on a BLT, but in this situation, I decided to get a little extra. So there you go. It was nice. It was a nice way to and then best part was it usually comes on wheat toast, which I'm fine. Love a good wheat toast. And he's like, well, we can switch you out the breads too. And I was like, ooh. And as he was running down, I landed it on croissant because that was one of the sandwiches I kind of wanted from my little easy vend at work, was like a ham and cheese on a croissant. So this just knocked out all like so many cravings just at once, and it's better quality. It was so yummy. It was so good. I also got to eat a little bit of popcorn while I waited because they had like free popcorn. So overall, just love Morsel and Nosh. Hadn't been there in a pretty long time, at least a month or two at least. Usually I wind up kind of getting there a little bit later, so it's usually a little bit harder to go. But I remember I told my friend before we went to Morsel and Nosh, because they had posed the idea to go, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm down, we'll do that. But I was like, I gotta get at least a slice of pizza from Chameleon. I just had to. Like, it had been over a week since I had my pizza time. I needed it. So we went to Chameleon, and I got two slices. I got a slice of pepperoni and a slice of cheese. There were, of course, the Bianca and the veggie. They both sounded pretty good. I think one had broccoli on it. I think another was like a pea pesto situation. But I've had those before. It wasn't too crazy to me. So I was like, all right, I'm okay. Let's just get just two easy breezy pizzas, slices of pizza, and we'll be good with that, right? And that was solid. Also, I ordered a different drink. I had like a Rheingeist Wowie, which it's a good drink, but I probably should have stuck to my usual, which is like getting a PPR. You know what I mean? But sometimes you just want to mix it up. Like I said, it's good to be back, baby. Anyway, after that, we just did our usual bar hop situation. Hit up Tavern, hit up Junkers. It was good to be back. Good to be at the at the stomps, at the haunts. See the homies. It was so good to see the homies and yuck it up and just have a good time. So that felt good. Then we closed the night back at the house, and we just did some in-house eating. One homie had made this Mediterranean cold salad, if you will. I think it had quinoa in it. It had chickpeas. Shout out to the chickpea summer. It had olives. It had a lot going on. Feta, I think, yes. It was just a nice, cool little concoction. It was nice just to kind of nibble on that while we queued up some other food. And then my homie, he hit me up. I shouldn't say it's a Sophie's Choice because Sophie's Choice is a negative connotation, right? But I was posed with options, and I was like, he's like, I'm gonna make egg like breakfast tacos, and I'm gonna make a bagel, but I only have the one bagel, and it's gonna be egg bagel sandwich or whatever. And both looked fire, both looked real good. But he initially had handed me the egg tacos, and I was like, damn, these are good. And he's like, I mean, I'll trade you. And I was like, no, you can keep the bagel sandwich. That's cool, bro. And I ate my egg tacos, and they were fucking fire. So it's not like I missed out. It's not like I lost, but you know me. I'm a bagel slut. I love a good bagel. Whenever I get to, I'm one of them. I'm always happy. But maybe next time, maybe another time, and that's okay. So overall, I got to eat a lot. I got to drink a lot. I got to laugh a lot. So yeah, it was overall a good night. I slept a couple of hours there, just kind of hanging out. I got up early around 6:30, and I was like, all right, time to go, and got my ass back home. Took a nap when I got home for about another couple hours or so, and I was kind of like already dragging. I think by the time I woke up, got up out of bed, it was around maybe like 10:30, 11 o'clock. Then we go to the store. I pick up all my groceries, or I should say all my groceries but one thing, and get home and then realize like I don't really have enough sourdough pretzels. Like I don't need them. I know I have enough, and I can just like, sub it out, like just get some random pretzels from wherever on the way home one day and be fine. But I was like, I don't know. And I was just dwelling on that for the rest of my day as I went to the gym. The gym went well. It was a good pump, had a good session. But then after that, I was like, yeah, we're going to go back to the store. So I went back to the store, and I got the sourdough pretzels that I missed, and I was like, okay. Also, kind of closing out on a bit of the personal shit. I think I've mentioned this before, but damn, dude, groceries are fucking crazy right now. And I don't know if it's just me and my appetite, like I'm just getting too much shit, and it's biting me in the ass. But part of me definitely wants to be like, no, it's just like before when we were like dealing with Biden admin shit, and we were dealing with inflation and shit. And I'm like, dude, this shit sucks. It feels like everything's getting more expensive. But like you have people in the economy saying, actually it's not so bad. Da, 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 da. And I feel like it's very akin to what's going on right now with the Trump administration and all this, tariff shit. What economists are saying is like, actually, the stores have kind of bought in advance. They haven't really felt the full effect of the tariffs. So it's not really that bad for consumers as of yet, but it could get worse. It could be bad. It could get really, fucked up in FUBAR beyond, around August 1st, come next month. But to me, I'm like, fuck that, dude. I feel like y'all gaslight me a little bit. I feel like this shit is expensive now already. So I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm just like looking for it too hard. I don't know, but shit sucks. I fucking hate that. But overall, it's been a good weekend. I had a good Saturday, good Sunday, so I'm really happy with that. I'm stoked, about that. Feeling pretty good, so I'm going into Monday feeling nice. So yeah, let's go ahead though and do our startup, and let's go ahead and get into some news. Mm. Ugh. All right. Our first story comes from the BBC. Gaza officials say children killed in strike as Israeli military admits error. 10 people, including 6 children, have been killed in an Israeli airstrike while waiting to fill containers in central Gaza on Sunday, emergency service officials say. Their bodies were sent to Nusrat al-Awada Hospital, which also treated 16 injured people, including 7 children, a doctor said. Eyewitnesses said a drone fired a missile at a crowd queuing with empty jerry cans next to a water tanker in the Al Nusrat refugee camp. The Israeli military said there had been a technical error with a strike targeting an Islamic Jihad terrorist that caused ammunition to fall dozens of meters from the target. The incident is under review, the military added. The IDF said it was aware of the claim regarding casualties in the area as a result, adding that it works to mitigate civilian harm as much as possible and regrets any harm to uninvolved civilians. But they're gonna do this shit again, sadly. I mean, it sucks, but we just know that because they are not going to stop, persecuting this goddamn campaign of genocide that they're on. I don't really know how else to really word that shit these days. Let's see. There was another part of the story that I wanted to get to that I have highlighted. Okay, here we go. On Saturday, southern Gaza's Nasser hospital said 24 people were killed near an aid distribution site where witnesses said Israeli troops had opened fire as people were trying to access food. So yeah. Excuse me. Now, they tried to deny that on this one. They said there were no known injured individuals from IDF fire near the site. Separately, an Israeli military official said warning shots were fired to disperse people who the IDF believed were a threat. So yeah. Let's move on, though, to our next story coming out of Ukraine and Russia from The Standard. Putin hit squad eliminated after cold-blooded daylight assassination of Ukrainian special ops chief. Ukraine says it has killed 2 Russian FSB agents under suspicion of assassinating the country's special operations chief. Colonel Ivan Voronich, Colonel Ivan Voronich, head of an SBU Intelligence Special Operations Center, was killed instantly after being shot with a pistol and a silencer in Kyiv. 5 shots rang out after he exited a residential block, and Voronich was later pronounced dead at the scene. A man and woman were spotted fleeing the area, Kyiv's Holovitsky district. The woman was earlier named by the SBU, Ukraine's secret service, as Narman Gulieva, 34. The man has not been identified by Ukrainian authorities. If I'm not mistaken, though, I think that is the man that's in the thumbnail. He's like running or like kind of walking away fastly, briskly from the assassination site. Not 100% on that, but I know like there were other pictures that I was like, oh, maybe that might be too graphic. But like of the operations chief like killed. They had it like edited out a little bit, but I was like, oh, that might not be good for Facebook or the old TikTok. So I didn't post that photo for the thumbnail. In a statement, the SBU said this morning a special operation was conducted during which members of the Agent Combat Group of the FSB of the Russian Federation began to resist, so they were eliminated. The murder of the Ukrainian defender was committed by 2 people, a man and a woman. Their supervisor ordered them to monitor the SBU officer, establish his daily schedule and routes. Later, the Russian handed over the coordinates of the cache to the killers, where there was a pistol with a silencer. It is understood that Voronich planned sensitive missions developed to target the Russian military and embarrass Vladimir Putin. Sources from Putin's ranks boasted that a Kremlin agent had assassinated the colonel for conducting secret operations from behind Russian lines. I believe they even like in the media, like they called him like a fat target. I'm like, damn, that's so fucking cold-blooded. Like, bro's already dead. Why you gotta do him like that, man? That's fucked up. Let's see here. I'm a little bit more details there. But I mean, this was a pretty, quick 1-2. In a way, it's a big thing just because you have an assassination and the immediate, I guess you could kind of say assassination or execution of those assassins. So boom, boom. But granted, is this going to move the needle or anything in Ukraine and Russia? Probably not. The beat kind of just goes on. But yeah, I felt like it was an interesting thing to talk about. It's not every day we get to talk about an assassination. and then the assassination of the assassins. I was like, oh damn. So a little bit of a combo meal there. Anyway, let's move on. We actually have a couple more shooting incidents to talk about, but we got to go to the States. From NBC News, 2 dead and multiple injured, including trooper, in Kentucky shootings. 2 people were killed and at least 3 others. 2 people were killed and at least 3 others, including a state trooper, were injured in what authorities described as a series of incidents in Lexington, Kentucky, after a suspect first shot at a trooper. The unidentified suspect shot a Kentucky State Police trooper in Fayette County at 11:36 a.m., according to Lexington Police Chief Lawrence Weathers. The trooper had pulled over the suspect after receiving a license plate reader alert in the area. The trooper was shot and the suspect fled, Weathers said. The trooper is in stable condition and receiving treatment. Law enforcement caught up with the suspect at the Richmond Road Baptist Church, where Weathers said he also opened fire. Preliminary information indicates that the suspect may have had a connection to the individuals at the church. 4 individuals were shot on church property. 2 female victims were pronounced deceased at the scene. 2 others, both male, were shot. 1 is in critical condition while the other is stable. The suspect was shot by responding law enforcement and was pronounced dead at the scene, Weathers said. The suspect's information will be released after their family is notified. Let's see. State police confirmed the initial shooting was the same as one reported at around the same time near Bluegrass Airport, about 16 miles northwest of the church. They go on to add that the incident wasn't related to the airport. So, I mean, obviously this is pretty fresh. This is pretty new. So if I do get any more details in terms of like what's the motivation behind like why this guy was moving this way, any more updates, then, we'll be back out of the story. But the other shooting I wanted to cover, I believe, takes place in Tennessee. Let's see. This is from WKRN articles, but also Yahoo News. I-24 in Rutherford County reopens after driver killed in shooting. Yes, it is Tennessee. Drivers experienced hours-long delays Saturday after all lanes of Interstate 24 were closed during an investigation into a deadly shooting near the Davison-Rutherford County line. A shooting and a multi-vehicle crash were reported around 7:30 a.m. on Saturday, July 12th, in the area of I-24 west near mile marker 64. However, Lieutenant Chief Craig with the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office said the shooting happened at approximately 7:51 a.m. on the interstate near Nashville. According to authorities, a Rutherford County man died after being shot while driving on I-24 near Waldron Road. Law enforcement will not release the man's identity until the family is notified. Officials said the Metro Nashville Police Department and Nashville Fire Department initially responded to the scene because the original call came to the MNPD. Then, after the incident was determined to be on the Rutherford County side of the line, the Sheriff's Office and the La Virgin Police Department responded to the scene with Rutherford County Emergency Services, while Tennessee Highway Patrol and the Tennessee Department of Transportation closed the highway during the investigation. They have a number to call if you got any more details or about it, blah, blah, blah. You can check that out if you want to do that. You're on your true crime junkie shit. You might know something, by all means. There was another shooting that took place in Tennessee that I'm not really covering. I'm just kind of going to just breeze by. But I believe people were shot at. It was like a class reunion that took place in Tennessee. If I do hear anything more, sticky or anything that makes it, something I really want to get into the guts about, then we'll cover it maybe Monday or something. But, Tennessee, a little bit of a bundle there. But yeah, obviously unfortunate, so many shootings happening, over the weekend, but so it goes. Let's see. We have a bit of good news, though, to close out for today. Let's see, of the backpacking variety. But yeah, let's go ahead and take our last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Actually, let me get some water. All right, our last story comes from The Guardian. Carolina Wilga, German backpacker found alive after 12 days missing in remote island brushland. German backpacker Carolina Wilga has been found alive after going missing 12 days ago in remote Western Australian brushland. Inspector Martin Glynn of WA police told reporters on Friday that the 26-year-old had been located walking on a brush track on the edge of the reserve where she had gone missing. He said she had been recovered by a member of the public on the roadside and brought to Beacon. As of 7:30, Wilga had been airlifted out of the area en route to a hospital in Perth for medical attention. As you can imagine from the trauma she suffered for the last few days, she's obviously been through a great deal, Glenn said. She does have some injuries. She's been ravaged by mosquitoes. She's obviously been through an amazing journey, a trauma, no doubt, and a testimony to demonstrating her bravery in those circumstances. There's a very hostile environment out there, both from flora and fauna. It's a really, really challenging environment. Glenn said Wilga did not appear to have any serious injuries, but had a lot of minor ones. I think once we do hear her story, it will be a remarkable story, Glenn said, adding that it was a great result for the backpacker's family and those involved in the search. Police on Thursday found Wilga's abandoned Mitsubishi van about 150 kilometers from Beacon in the Karoon Hill area, which has been described as a remote and inhospitable country. It's a miracle they've actually spotted the car, to be honest, Glenn said. The police air wing officers were able to identify that the vehicle was bogged and was subject to extensive efforts by her to recover the vehicle. Glenn had told the media conference about an hour before it was announced that Wilga had been found. She used max tracks and pieces of wood to try to free the vehicle from its location, but unfortunately was unsuccessful. Police believe Wilga walked away from her vehicle once she was unable to free it. She, was doing the best she kind of could in this situation. She's traveling alone. She put all her expertise out there to try to get out of the situation. And she's like, okay, I don't want to stay here. So let's go. And, she went, and walked, went a bit of a walkabout. I mean, can you say that? Is that fucked up to say? I don't know. Anyway, but, I think from what I heard, her injuries weren't severe, yes, but when they found her, like, she was walking with a limp, she had a lot of bites and things of that nature. So obviously she had been through it. She was doing the best she could to try to get to someone, I imagine, anyone, any kind of civilization and kind of get safe. So it's really good that, after all this time, she was found alive. She was, relatively unharmed, not in serious danger, not in any kind of serious critical condition. So that's good, happy to hear about that. Let's see. You're always so hopeful with these missing person situations, Glenn said. It's really quite traumatic because you obviously always go out with the best hope that you will find the person. It's just a great outcome for everyone involved. Also, it does show her vehicle, and it does seem like it's got a lot of kit to it. Like, it seems like a very impressive vehicle, and really it was just a situation of her getting lost and then getting bogged literally bogged and stuck in a situation where she couldn't get out. She couldn't get the vehicle out despite as hard as she tried. So, definitely unfortunate in that regard that, she got in that predicament, but good that she was able to get out safe. All in all. So there you go. Closing out with some good news there. And really, that's all I have for today. That's going to be the episode. And y'all know I don't like to shill on Sundays, so we'll just go ahead and close it out nice and clean. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.